Well, at the beginning of the year, I made 5 promises to the country. One of them was to cut waiting lists, and I'm here today to see this fantastic community diagnostic centre in Oldham, which is helping us do exactly that, cut the waiting list. These centres bring together all the different types of checks, tests and scans that people need, take them out of hospitals, closer to people's homes in the community, making it easier for them to access that treatment and get it far quicker. It's really working. It's making a major difference in cutting waiting lists, and that's why we're rolling out almost 150 of these across the country.
Let's move on. There's lots to get through this morning. Syria, the earthquake there. The UN this morning essentially saying there's an open and shut case that there needs to be more access to northwest Syria. Is the British government prepared to do more to try and show that happens?
Well, it is right. We need to get more aid into Syria, and that means more border crossings. We're working very closely with the United Nations to play our part in trying to make that happen. And in the meantime, what we're also doing is sending aid directly into the area. The White Helmets organisation are providing humanitarian assistance on the ground in Syria. They're funded by UK aid, and they're doing terrific work. We're also sending hygiene kits, blankets and tents and other supplies to that region as well.
Just on that, you corrected me rightly the other day saying that the UK government's going to match £5 million worth of funding, but the UK population has raised 50 million. Are you guys prepared to go further and match more money, given how much has been raised so far?
Well, it's been amazing to see the response from the country to what is an unbelievable, just devastating tragedy that, as I said, is hard to comprehend the scale of, sitting here watching it on your TV screens. And that's why it's important that we do our bit, and I'm grateful to everyone who's given generously. The government has matched £5 million of those donations, but we're also providing lots of other support directly to the authorities in the region. I spoke to the President of Turkey last week. 77 of our best search and rescue teams are on the ground as we speak. They've been there for almost a week doing really important work. We're sending tents, blankets, hygiene equipment, but we're also continually in touch with the authorities, and if they need more assistance, we're ready to provide it.
The number of incidents we had in the United States with these so-called spy balloons, have we looked into this into the UK? Have you talked to the intelligence military about whether there's a possibility that some of these balloons or Chinese balloons have been in the UK's airspace?
Well, I want people to know that we'll do whatever it takes to keep the country safe. We have something called the Quick Reaction Alert Force, which involves Typhoon planes, which are kept on 24/7 readiness to police our airspace, which is incredibly important. I can't obviously comment in detail on national security matters, but we're in constant touch with our allies. And as I said, we'll do whatever it takes to keep the country safe.
But just specifically, to date, you do not know of any instance of spy balloons being spotted over UK airspace?
As I said, I wouldn't comment in detail on security matters, but people should be reassured that we have all the capabilities in place to keep the country safe, including the Quick Reaction Alert Force, which has Typhoon planes, which can police our skies on 24/7 readiness. But more generally, we're in touch with our allies, and we'll make sure that the country is always protected.
Now, just on Richard Chop, the chairman of the BBC, lots of questions over the weekend about his position, not least of all because a select committee of MPs, including Conservatives, said that essentially he had made mistakes. Do you have confidence in the BBC chairman? Do you think he's undermining BBC impartiality?
So look, this relates to a process that happened before I was Prime Minister, obviously. It's currently being looked at by the Independent Office of Public Appointments, and that process is ongoing, so I can't speculate before prejudge the outcome of that. But it's an independent process. It's going to look at it and make sure that everything was followed correctly, all the rules and procedures were adhered to, and obviously we'll wait for that report.
Okay, just 2 final questions, Prime Minister. First of all, one on apparently this Brexit meeting that took place relatively recently. Did you know about it? Do you sanction Michael Gove to go and talk to other MPs?
You know, I was proud to vote for Brexit, and now as Prime Minister I'm keen to make sure that we deliver the benefits of it. Now, we've already done that when we've taken control of our migration system, for example. We're rolling out free ports across the country, which are creating jobs and investment. And now what we want to do is make sure that we drive growth in our economy by seizing the opportunities of Brexit to do things differently. We have a law that's going through Parliament that will enable us to do that, and whether it's in life sciences, so we have faster drug trials, or whether it's in data and technology, doing things differently so that we can create jobs and prosperity across the country.
It does sound like you were in support of this meeting then.
This is not about the meeting. This is what I'm talking about, what the government is doing, and that's making sure that we capitalise on the benefits of Brexit. Trade deals that we're signing all around the world and constantly in dialogue with other partners as we speak to increase the links between the UK and countries everywhere. That's good for people's jobs here at home. Those are just a few of the things that we can do differently because of Brexit, and we're going to keep delivering those benefits for the British people.
Cool. And just very finally, the Times today are saying that water companies are going to avoid big fines. We know some of them have spilled sewage into rivers and to lakes. Are the government prepared to water down these fines?
I think that reporting is categorically not true. Right? I would welcome tougher fines for water companies, and that's what we're putting in place. Not only are we holding them to account for putting in place the largest investment in our water infrastructure in decades, it's £56 billion of investment that we're expecting the water companies to put in. We will hold them to account for their part in reducing the overflows, and there will be very significant fines for them if they don't do their part in this. That's what the government is delivering, and that's what I'm committed to doing.